space in Traverse City and just really wanting to presence the significance of this place and space in this town. It is the place where 2 years ago, at the height of the pandemic, or beginning of the pandemic, and with the uprisings after George Floyd was murdered, where this community came out 2,000 plus strong in defense of Black life. Right here. We filled this whole green space. It was actually the day that I moved back home to Michigan after living a decade out on the West Coast, and I was really uncertain of and longing for a community who was invested in and wanting to be a part of anti-racism work here. And I was so moved and grateful to enter into this space. I'm tearful thinking about it again, that there were that many people who showed up in commitment in relationship to the death of George Floyd. And it was incredible to see people show up in that way, and to be engaged in that work with people. And from that place and space, there were a lot of white people who were saying, what do we do? Like, who were aware of and kind of woke up for the first time to the level and state of police violence in this country. And understanding racial justice was one of the things that was created and birthed from some of the uprisings and some of the responses here in Traverse City. And since then, the URJ, there's been 11 cohorts, and we've trained over 250 people, which is an incredible amount of people to get trained up. And we're continuing to offer these cohorts. We need more people. We need all of us in this work.
Yeah, and so we wanted to return to this place that has significance in this community, not only for the movement for racial justice, but also so many movements and oppression. And invite you in again to join us for this upcoming cohort. We stand here on the weekend of MLK Day, and one thing that is true about these movements and the way that white people relate to them, that we have learned when we study our history, is that the ebb and flow of engagement from white folks comes and goes. And Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. has said so many things that have staying power over the years, and one of the most potent things that I return to each year around this time is the letter from the Birmingham Jail, when he sat in jail and he was writing to his colleagues, in particular his white clergy colleagues, and saying that at this point in his work, at this point in the movement that he had been a part of, he was more concerned and more gravely disappointed, I think were his words, in the ways in which the white moderate failed to show up alongside he and his people. And that was actually more disappointing and in some ways even more threatening than those who were outwardly a part of the Ku Klux Klanner. If you haven't read the letter, it's a powerful letter. I invite you to read it on this MLK Day, and to feel for his invitation inside of that, inside of those words of wisdom that speak about the ways in which white people relate to the movement for racial justice over time. And so if you're looking for a way to recommit, if you're looking for a way to take action this year, URJ has been going strong since 2020, and we're about to start cohort 12, and it's the very first one that we have in person, and so we invite you to consider that. The truth is that police violence has not waned since 2020. 2022 was actually the year that we have the most police killings on record in the United States. Over 1,100 people were murdered by police, and that was disproportionately among BIPOC communities, Black, Indigenous, and other people of color. There were 12 days in 2022 that police did not murder someone in our nation. 12 days that we went without the murder of a human being by our police in 2022. And 1 in 3 of those folks who were killed were actually running away, driving away, or fleeing in some other way So the work remains, and though it has not made the news or the kind of publicity that George Floyd and Breonna Taylor and so many others arose to the top of our consciousness in 2020, the work is right here for us and is calling us in. So we invite you to join us. Our cohort starts January 22nd. We're incredibly grateful to Huxonville, who's hosting this first in-person cohort. We'll meet for 5 Sundays from 3 to 5. From late January to end of February, and we're really excited to be with you soon.